You know, if you don't want to be a business owner, how can you invite cash flow into your life?
Being entrepreneurial, finding ways that you can create revenue inside of an organization that can be recurring is a way that you can create economic independence.
Yeah.
So you don't have to own the business, but you could work within the business. And that would be one example.
Yeah.
You know, you could own a house and Airbnb part of it.
Yeah.
You could
sell your clothes on Poshmark.
you know, you could rent out your car on Turo. I mean, there's things you could do. Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions. People have been trained for a century to be passive investors, to accumulate and wait for compound interest to kick in. This isn't the method of the banks. Wall Street doesn't do that. It's definitely not what the wealthiest do. So it's more of a do as I say, not as I do type of an idea. Cash flow investing requires knowledge, even some patience, and personal attention. It may even require more time up front, but definitely less time in the long run. So how can you create economic independence in the next 10 years? Have enough cash flow from assets to cover your life and basic expenses? There's a way. Let's go ahead and uncover it.
Yeah, I'm all about uncovering this.
Let's
do it.
Is this your favorite part of working with me?
Yes. My top three.
Top three. Give me the other two. Let's hear it.
The other two.
My jokes, when I'm telling you jokes, they're like, oh my God, these are just free bonuses that rain down into my life.
Ask the Money Nerds, number one.
Okay.
Number two, being made fun of. No.
Oh, well, then you've got the right job.
No, I like creating things with you. I like the book and the play and the process of that. I think that's a lot of fun.
It's a big process.
It is a very big process.
Very big process.
I like the creative things that we work on together.
Is your favorite thing managing the details around social media?
I will say that drops below number three, but I love this component of it.
Our last Forbes post doing really well, though, you tell me.
It is.
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands.
It's just killing it.
It was over 300 last I checked.
Yeah. I think that's great. That's a win.
Take it. Yeah.
But you and I, neither one of us, and not very many people on the team that we work with, are really big into social media. Like our lives aren't centered around that. It's not a bad thing. You know, we use it, we engage with it, but it's not a huge component of our lives.
I comment on almost every YouTube comment. I'm getting slower about it right now because I'm in the middle of writing.
It's all you though.
But that is me. There's no bots. There's no, you don't ever write on my behalf on there.
Nope.
I'm too smart to let you do that.
Yeah. I'm going to try and see if people can decide if it's you or me.
And, but people are really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, and people that aren't, I get it. Life's frustrating and I come across as intense and they don't like my hair and beard, Stolba.
Too bad for them.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, I like it.
Yeah.
My wife likes it.
That's all that matters.
So that's where we're at right now. Even my mom likes it or pretends that she does. My grandma, not so much. Not a big fan.
That long hair's going down the deep dark path with long hair. All right. Alex's question. You know, the reason why I was so excited about uncovering this, like who does not want to be economically independent in 10 years?
Right.
I don't want to
maybe sooner.
Yeah, sooner would be great. But 10 years is not that long of a time. Just think of what your life could look like in 10 years if we accomplish this. Let's do it. Seriously, let's invite this into our lives. Abundance. Here we go. Alex's question. Let's get there. He says, my question is hard and easy at the same time. I see that you put a video out each week and I finished your book, Killing Sacred Cows, and I've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Being that what you both said make more sense to me than most, how do I learn cash flow? Great question, Alex. And the 5 levers you talk about. I'm not the best reader, so Audible is the way to go. That's fantastic. And
I'm not the best listener. So what do you do for me? As many people have told me on the comments, Stolba. Stop interrupting.
You're getting better. I don't think you're that bad.
Well, we're comparing me to when we first started, so it's like there was only room for improvement.
That's true.
That's why it's great to have my wife around. She just grabs my knee.
Okay.
Gently, like as a reminder, like shut the F up. People are trying to talk. You're interrupting everybody. Oh.
Stop it.
Yeah. Is that insecurity or is that just I'm excited about life?
It could be both. You never know. I can't determine your motive. Only you can.
So much that I love to say.
I have so much that I know you need to hear.
That's why I'm married, right? Because my wife's more like quiet and introverted, and we'll go for an hour drive. I just carry the conversation, and she's totally cool with it.
She has
responds.
one earbud in on the side that you can't see.
My God, lately she talks so much, right? When you guys are around, you guys just jabber. I'm like, I don't even get to talk.
Yeah,
I just sit there and listen to you too.
With Carrie.
All right.
We have a lot in common. Okay.
You both have to deal with me.
Former teachers that have to deal with Gunderson on a daily basis. Okay, let's get to Alex's question here. We're derailing ourselves, but it's fun. Okay, so he wants to know, let's start there. How do I learn cash flow? Okay. And he wants to know more about the 5 levers we talk about.
Okay, we'll start with cash flow, then the levers. So really the 3 main asset categories for cash flow.
Okay, number 1.
Businesses.
Business.
Right. Small business, especially, privately held businesses that you might be able to acquire that can create cash flow, create it immediately. Okay. Second is real estate. That's pretty popular. A lot of people know real estate. Yeah. But we look at those 2 categories. There's so many subcategories, different types of businesses, brick and mortar versus digital, like, employee run, businesses versus, stock, shareholder run. There's so much to look at there. Same with real estate. Is it going to be residential, commercial? Is it fix and flip? Is it buy and hold? But we're talking cash flow. So I'm talking more like residential, buy and hold type of thing.
Yeah.
And then I feel like intellectual property gets discounted a lot of times, but it's really important. And it's an asset class. It's something that you can create recurring revenue. Sometimes people on YouTube get super pissed when you have an author offering a book, as we've seen, like accusing people of only having wealth because they wrote books. I'm like, well, did they say that to Steinbeck? Did they say that to Hemingway? Yeah. I get it. I understand the frustrating thing of someone saying, I can show you how to do what I did. And, and it's just a big hyped up marketing session. I understand the frustration.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that intellectual property, we're in a how-to world. There's lots of people that are being trained to learn things online and figure that out. And so if people have that expertise to help people improve their lives, I think that's another cash flowing asset. Now there's other things that people could do to create cash flow. It's just not really what I would focus on. Stocks. Yeah. Bonds. Sure. There's all sorts of different types of investments. And we talk about it in my book, 5-Day Weekend. We have whole chapters, because Nick, my co-author, has done so many different types of investments, and he has things called share lording strategies and you name it, but there's plenty of ways to do it. But I want to focus on businesses and real estate is kind of the big 2.
Okay.
Now, economic independence comes from these 5 levers. And so
that's what we're going for. 10 years or less.
10 years or less. And look, it takes effort and work, but it's work that can have recurring revenue and payoff.
So I have a question for you. You said businesses are one of the number 1 ways to improve cash flow.
Yeah.
What if someone doesn't have the desire, or they don't believe they have the skill set to start a business? If you don't want to be a business owner, how can you invite cash flow into your life?
Well, sitting in this very seat one morning on a Sunday morning, my wife says, we need to create a curriculum for homeschool that's on the things that they don't learn in school. Money, marketing,
social skills,
emotional intelligence, social skills. That's a brilliant idea. So I make a little post. What was it? 460 comments.
It was a lot.
A lot of those were mine responding, but a lot of comments.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't have capacity to deal with this to make it the quality that I'd want to. So I put it on the, back burner. We talked about it a couple of times, talked to the other team at Wealth Factory. And then you came and you said, I think I have a unique skill set in that, and I'd like to do something. Well, that's something that we might be able to do a joint venture with you on that you can create recurring revenue from.
Right.
And being entrepreneurial, finding ways that you can create revenue inside of an organization that can be recurring is a way that you can create economic independence.
Yeah.
So you don't have to own the business, but you could work within the business. And that would be one example.
Yeah.
You could own a house and Airbnb part of it.
Yeah.
You could
sell your clothes on Poshmark.
You could rent out your car on Turo. There's things you could do. Those are a little bit active, but ultimately it does require effort, and people want it to be pretty effortless. They want to set it and forget it. They want to put it into a retirement plan, wait for 30 years and it's all going to pay off. This is a weird notion to me.
Yeah.
We're not adding value. We're just buying something,
it's just automatic,
thinking it's going to go up in the future. But why is it going to go up? Why will it stay up? Why will it be more valuable? Why is our money going to be more valuable? It's things that we haven't really been taught to question.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help people question that so they can say, maybe I'm giving away my power. Maybe I'm giving away my money. Maybe I'm giving away my life because I work so hard for this money and I'm waiting for someday to be better. And it's been a broken promise. So there are ways to do it, but it requires effort.
Yeah.
You know, it requires upfront thinking.
Yeah. And some resiliency. And I feel like business in a lot of ways feel similar to relationships, or where you're in a relationship. It kind of
take some notes on this.
Well,
it's a pain in the ass.
It's a mirror into your life. Like you have like fears that come up, pains that come up, and it's like reflective of that. I think when you start a business, the same thing happens. Like I didn't realize I was fearful. I never realized that I felt incapable, or, you know, business has that same kind of dynamic with us. So
we either be an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, or it's going to be a pretty tough life.
Yep. I can see that.
Or you can marry into it, win it, or
I'm not taking chances on that.
What else could we do? You could marry into it. You could win the lottery, or you can inherit it.
Clearinghouse could come to your doorstep.
You know, but that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
And it's more fun to create your own business, I think. Be more creative. Okay. So
5 levers.
Yep. Hopping into the 5 levers. So let's just do a quick rundown.
Let me see how much you know of this. This is the quiz. What's lever number 1, Stelva?
I'm not
First
good
lever.
at this
First
stuff.
lever.
No.
Keep more of what you make. Yes. Become more efficient. Plug the leaks.
I need to just have a sticky note on my thing here.
You know, you got to. It's about saving on tax, saving on interest, saving on insurance, saving on non-performing investment fees. It's about the big things, not just coupon clipping, but the big things that make the big difference. The second thing is to engineer wealth. You got to know what your monthly expenses are that sustain your living, and then reverse engineer and say, what are the steps that are going to help you get there? So it's building out the plan, build the foundational pieces, then the safety and security pieces, and then the growth pieces third. Yeah. If you skip the first 2 steps, you take unnecessary risk and you might have to start all over again.
Get yourself in a pinch.
Right. Playing Legend of Zelda from the old NES with my youngest son. And so you can get these little potions that when your heart containers are low, you can take the potion, it fills them back up. So you got to have 2, and you can get the red one, which gives you twice that you can do that. So foundation, then safety. Now you're going to be able to be a stronger character.
Someone
and
is going to relate so hard to that example. It went over my head. I've never played the game.
I'll have Roman explain it for a few hours to you today. Don't worry about it.
So, as he's quoting The Office.
Yeah. Oh, God. He's hilarious. So then... the third step is to accelerate investment income. It's to become a cash flow investor. If you have stagnant, lazy assets that aren't kicking off cash flow for you, you turn those into cash flow so they help you get economically independent. And the fourth thing is to scale revenue. Entrepreneurial, figure out ways you can contribute to the bottom line of a business and get a percentage, or as a business owner, scale and grow that business by doing what you do best, delegating the rest, and getting crystal clear on what you can do to add more value, reach more people, or more deeply impact those people, and finally make it count. Enjoy your life along the way. Build the life you love. Manage your energy. Do the things that you don't exhaust yourself or run yourself into the ground, and then all of a sudden you have less to give. That's what happens to too many people. They get in the hustle, the grind, the whatever it is, and it's a game that's really not worth winning if they get stuck in that. So keep cash, plug the leaks, right? Engineer wealth. Accelerate investment income, scale business revenue, and make it count. Invest back into yourself, and that's going to help you with this framework to become economically independent and get there a lot faster. Most people don't get there because they're not training themselves on creating cash flow. They're training themselves on being patient, on waiting, on deferring, on delaying, on scrimping, on saving, on cutting, on budgeting.
Do a little dance to
I mean,
this.
it's just like this nonsense that we've been just indoctrinated with to destroy the enjoyment of life along the way in the name of living a better life one day, someday. And because we care about people and because we want to do good, then that kind of guilt and shame rises above and says, hey, you got to do this, otherwise you're being reckless. And that starts to stifle creativity, ability, and value. It's a game of value creation, vision bigger than our problems, finding the hidden capital, which is your mental and relationship capital, and then loving on people. That's the deal.
That's a big one. I like the phrase that when you're describing the 5 levers, you said, do what you do best and delegate the rest.
Did I say that? I like that.
Yeah. That had a little rhythm to it. Do what you do best and delegate the rest.
You know that little rhythm I got into?
Yep.
That's the play rhythm that we're going to do at that one spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
So remind me to watch that as I'm writing that part.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Okay. We have one more thing in here from Alex's question. Are you all done with the 5 levers? Anything else you want to say there? Okay.
There's other videos where we're going pretty deep on that. So check them out.
Yeah. He says, I want to change my life in 10 years or sooner. I'm not scared of hard work. I just don't want to work myself to death. And I think this is a common maybe not even a fear, but something that people think about. I want to start a business, but I don't want it to overrun my life. I don't want it to take away from the time that I spend with my family and friends. So how do I utilize business as a tool to get economically independent without it overtaking my time and my life?
So this is so simple, but this is it. This is big.
Okay.
You determine what the win is up front. Then you create the rules of how you're going to play.
Okay.
When you're in business, you get to create the rules. People think the rules are being available all the time. You know my rule. I don't want to be available. I want to be accessible. So the right people can get a hold of me, but not quickly, because I'm going to live life on my terms and my schedule, and then support from there.
Yeah.
So what do I do with email?
I check it for you. Yeah. No,
I don't do email. I mean, I send some emails out sometimes, but I'm barely on it because there's too many uninvited guests in on my email inbox, right? And what's nice with YouTube comments, it's not urgent. People aren't like,
get back to me within 24 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not giving me major projects to do either. So I like having that filter. So I just determined that rule. Like when I first was in business, I'd meet anytime, anywhere. And then eventually I was like, oh, I don't meet past 6 o'clock. And hey, I'm taking Fridays to study. And my old clients had a problem with that. But anyone that knew, they didn't care. Any of the new people that came in. So you create the rules.
Right.
Like, and I started to improve my life. I started to tell my wife, I'm like, okay, only one night a week do I work late. And so I got strategic about the other nights, and I made sure to, and then eventually it's like, I don't work late any nights, right? So you kind of determine what works for you.
Yeah.
So I don't take my computer into my bedroom because I don't want to be tempted to get on, any type of comments, or I don't want to be writing or working on a project or anything like that. So it stays downstairs. Yeah. Like you just create the rules up front. And people will work by those rules. Yeah. You get to determine it. I don't know why we think that everybody else gets to determine that. It's been indoctrinated.
It's our
been
life.
It's been like, it's permeated at a cellular level. So what's your game worth winning?
Yeah.
Right? Like my game worth winning is to be an artist. I want to work on the play. I want to do these videos. I want to write. I want to really make a major impact so that by the time I'm dead, 1 billion people have had this impact their hearts in a positive way. That they feel better about themselves. Like I'm tired of these other guys saying people are stupid and wrong and idiots. Like we're like, we are human. Making mistakes is part of the process.
Right.
If we stop villainizing the mistakes and start learning from them, we can extract the lesson without having the experience become who we are.
Absolutely.
Too many people identify themselves by their mistakes, but like the mistakes got you here. So were they as bad as you thought?
No.
I don't know.
You're not stupid if you make a mistake. We all make mistakes. Yeah, we're human. It's a part of the human experience. And we just take it as data. What do I learn from it, like you said? And how do I move forward from it?
So as I look at this, what we're really trying to do is create enough cash flow from assets to cover expenses. When you do that, all your active income can build more assets. So that's super helpful. And as we look at the 5 levers, it's a good framework. And as you look to start a business or refine your existing business, it's time to begin to establish your business rules. What are your rules of operation? How do you want to do business? And you get strategic. Like I was like, I want to go to Italy for 2 months. I didn't know how to do it, but we created the game. Yeah. You started how many days before that?
Maybe 7.
7. And I'm like, I'm out for a few months. And how often did we talk while I was gone?
Maybe 2 or 3 times.
Right. Because I created the rules. It's like, this is the rules we're going to play by. Do that work for you? If not, then you don't have to work with me. Right. So
I was still around when you came back, so that was a good sign.
Right, yeah. You were around, and so was AA Ron, because he had the same deal. He came around at the same time. I'm like, well, I'm off. Yeah. Enjoy. But everybody got to mature and grow up, right? It's kind of like our going off to college kind of thing for the firm, So
one of the things when you say, what are the structures of your business in your life, looking at your calendar, it seems really obvious, but we're protective of your mornings. Right. We don't share those.
That's where I write best. Yeah. This morning I did my row and recite because I'm working on the memorization of the play. Right. I wrote some outlines for some YouTube videos. Yeah. And I reviewed some personal notes around family constitution and, made some celery juice for the family, some metal detox smoothies for the family, some lemon water, and even a latte for my wife. I didn't have caffeine today. Yeah. You proud of me?
Props to you. I
will tomorrow. Want to master your money? Want to figure out the things that you could do to improve your finances? Click here and check out more videos like this on Money Matters.